Good day and welcome to Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Atama Fokate and today I'm chilling with the CEO and co-founder of Chocolate Tribe, Nosipho Maketo-Van Bragt. Ladies and gentlemen. Double barrel name, tongue twister. Oh,
I know.
Van Bragt, Maketo.
I know. I was trying to just mix it up for you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Anyway,
But I got it right.
Oh, you did.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen.
After the 10th time, but okay, we're not going to go into that.
Yeah, no, you see now you're exposing me.
Excuse.
No,
but
how
you're
are
not
you?
the only. I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
Long time, actually. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you for
a month,
inviting
long
me.
time, yeah, a month.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
it's
a
a long
month.
time. It is a long time.
I'm exposing you.
But you are exposing me. But you know what? Thank you for inviting me. I think this is amazing and well done. You know, it's nice to be chilling with you today, and I know you and I are going to have a fantastic conversation.
No, it's going to be interesting. You know, I'm talking to somebody that's supposed to be practicing as an attorney.
True.
But they are now caught up in doing animation.
True.
Which for some is regarded as playing a
Yes.
TV game
Like
or all those things.
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yeah.
for all those that don't understand who Nosipho is,
Right.
let's start there.
Okay.
The journey.
Okay.
Who is Nosipho?
How long do we have?
We have all the time.
Okay, all right. So I was born in Soweto, and I've always aspired to do law, and that's what I did. Even my parents, I think I was quite a high achiever in terms of eskolweni, and I really...
In Soweto?
Yeah,
or when you are
and
those
then
that were taking buses in the morning going to a Model C schools?
No, like
Where in Soweto?
Zone 6. You know,
Wow.
the school that I went to was Nkwenkwezi in Zone 6.
Wow.
So, and the weird thing is it's interesting because when we're having the conversation of Soweto, I remember Umem Mahlang was saying to me, you know what, you need to do something else because your tongue is very tight. You can't speak English properly. So, Benklala after school, and I would be doing extra homework because of that. And the reason why I tell this story, we'll come to that because you've asked me, Guti, where am I
we've got
coming
all the
from?
time. In
Is
fact,
that
I nearly asked
later
you,
on-
is Zone 6 ngase holweni or how far from the hall, you know, I nearly
It was
even
a long
went into...
time ago.
Okay.
There
was no hall by
there
then?
There was no hall.
Oh, there's a beautiful hall there now.
Really?
But it's okay, let's continue.
I need to see it. Now we are exposure, manje. We are now doing age shaming. But yeah, anyway. So, but for me, I was always like that kid that was really highly interested in education, but at the same time, creativity. And my dad was a judge's registrar. So he was actually a legal clerk. And then my mom was a nurse. And we were like the ideal family because both parents were like, you know, working parents and the example in the community. But I always wanted to do something that was creative. And I pursued law. I went to WITS, I did a Bachelor of Arts, and then I did a Bachelor of Laws, then went overseas. I lived in London for 10 years where I did a Master's in Law again. So for me, like, law was everything.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was fulfilling not only my own dreams, but the dreams of my community because, you know, Maukula is Soweto, and I know it's to some extent it's true even now. You know, you aspire to be great and to do wonderful things, but
yes.
for us back then, that was like a dream that was so far away. So to even travel and go to the UK, live in the UK, for me was like, wow, you know. Then to turn around,
now.
I'm there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I've made it, I've arrived. Then to turn around and then, you know, move from the legal space into the creative space. Like, even if family was like, what the hell are you doing?
But before you even moved,
right,
did you start practicing?
I did practice. After I did my master's, I was headhunted from the UK to come back to South Africa. And then I was in practice. I worked for two big law firms. I won't mention them, but really, really prestigious law firms. And so we were the it kids. You know, you're the ones that are walking with big and pulling those trolley
that
bags.
Black trolley thing.
That very one.
And
with
wearing that gown.
That very one. With your advocate, because, you know, as lawyers, there's also a hierarchy. So lawyers sort of work for the advocates. We prep everything. We do all the work. work. And then the advocate stands in front wearing that gown
Yes.
and presents the case. So I have to make sure all the paperwork and, you know, the arguments and all of that. So that's what I
And
was
by
saying.
then, your mission is also to end up being an advocate as well.
That's it.
Because, I mean, if you're talking about hierarchies and
Bona.
you are that child that always wanted to achieve.
Do you know?
Yes.
And so for me, and actually a judge, you know, so I would see the advocates and I was like, okay, this is my path. Then after that, being a judge, you know what I mean?
But
so
why did you stop?
I didn't stop. I think and this is the conversation, I thought, Uguti, a lot of us, and not just being a woman, not being a black woman, an African, it's that we are brought up to think, Uguti, this is the sum total. There's a box, you know, and that box is ring fenced and you can't come out of it. I wanted to come out of it. And that's why I was even speaking about growing up in Soweto. Uguti, you know, even as you're sitting in the corner of the street or Utengi Samagwinya, amplify your thinking, you know, go beyond your imagination. I think we've been constantly trapped in this thing, Yoguti, you can only be one thing. So even our parents became nurses and doctors and that was it. They didn't think beyond, Yoguti, there's a business around that. And there's a possibility or potential to amplify those spaces to beyond what you trained. So for me, it was really about, you know, opening up those doors as well.
You know, for me, before I even go into those things, I'm this curious person and I'm trying to understand Nosipho quite well.
Sure.
When Nosipho went to London,
Right.
is she still Maketo or is she Van Bragt? Where is this double barrel thing coming? Yes, I want people to.
Yeah, it was the transition. So I actually met my husband in a laundromat. You know, I was studying. You know, I was busy studying. In walks this guy, upete basket, like a washing basket.
Yeah.
It was back in the day where, you know, laundromats, if you don't have a washing machine in Tlini, you go to a laundromat. And I'd gone to the laundromat with a friend of mine who was having, you know, problems in their relationship and was like, Chomi, let's go. And I was like, okay, fine. And so we're sitting there. This guy walks in, looks at me and says, can you help me with how the machine works? And I was like, how young Delela? I mean, really? Why are you asking me? It's like, no, I'm new in the country. I don't know how to work the machine. Can you help me? And so the rest is really history.
But was he delivering you or did he already see this beautiful woman?
Well,
you
thank
know,
you.
women have got strategies and, you know, I act like I can't tie my shoelace or something.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, what's the real story?
Well,
I get Manje, you are together.
Okay.
But
so,
now.
No, the real story was like he was really new in the country and didn't know what he was doing, to be honest.
Oh, so you sheltered him.
Hi,
So-
I'm happy.
Okay, but then he was looking for help.
He was looking for help.
And now you've got a double barrel surname.
Okay. No, yes,
Tell us
then
the
I'm
truth.
glad you are really. This has become the third degree. No, honestly, he walked in as per him. Maybe, you know, he was acting desperate. Usashuguti was acting desperate.
One day he must tell us the truth.
Yes. He walks in with this basket, and then, long and short, he also has this big book, you know, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, hey, this guy, this book with colors and pictures. Can't you read into enama, like, you know, with words? Why are you reading? So I've got this thing, this attitude, oh God, you know, Angiti, we are second year law students, like, oh God, you know. Anyway, so I'm like, what is that book that you're reading? Actually, by the way.
Don't rush. Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm like, what is this book that you're reading? And then it's like, no, I do animation and I'm here in South Africa because I got a job. You know, to start this animation studio.
Which year was it? Because animation then was the thing when it comes to you know, this industry. It was difficult to do.
Is this lifestyle league or is this exposing people's, you know, I want to know.
We are exposing game changers.
Okay.
You are a game changer, by the way. Any game changer, we are exposing.
So this was 98.
Yes.
This was 98. I was a second year law student. And he had finished...
Because I'm trying to make people understand
where we come
love
from.
for animation.
Absolutely.
When did it start? Which year did it start? Because by then, you know, I remember wanting to do a music video for animation and they told me about big amounts of money.
No, animation is not for the you know, the faint-hearted.
Yes.
So in 98, and big book, By then, I think Bekpume Lion King. Lion King was a big thing, Lebu M, and the musical and all of it. And that was my favorite animation. So here's this guy with a book on animation. So I'm like, but nyam, I'm like, like we do. And there's a backstory to this. Uguti, all of us think animation is for kids. It's for those, actually not just for kids, it's for those kids who didn't make it in the academic space. And Nayo. And I mean, there's so many facets to it. But anyway, if I can tell my story, I need to expose, and I'm now. Anyway, so he opens this book, and we start talking about it, and then he asks me when I went, and I'm like, I'm a law student, and very proudly, and and then he's like, no, I'm in animation. I was like, really? And I was so fascinated by that because I just recently watched Lion King, and it was my favorite animated show. Long and short, we started dating. We went to Joburg Theatre. That was our first date. And for me, I think it also opened up a portal to the possibility of looking at creativity as a space to not only express yourself, but to make money, But I was still unsure.
But by then, it's not that popular in the country.
It's not that popular in the country. And even I don't see it as
it's not even worth it.
Let me tell you, Arthur,
what does he even want in the country?
But let me tell you, Uguti, when I introduced him to my parents, and firstly, they didn't understand Uguti animation, but when's I into with animals, And I was like, no, animation. You know what I mean? And then, then I'm trying to explain it. And then it's like, oh, I'm a Popeye. And then my mom, and then my mom said, Uguti, you know what? You're going to be the one that's working for the family. This job, it's not actually a straightforward, or it's not something that's going to build the family. So, as a lawyer, you're going to be working all your life to maintain this guy, because I'm a creatives there. There's no, you get the vibe, right?
I know.
But we then moved to the UK. We built a life there. We have 3 kids together. And we then returned to South Africa 2011. And I returned to South Africa to take on a position at this big law firm, which is in Sandton. And and for all intents and purposes, it was great, but I felt there was something missing. And also being in a law firm, the one thing, and I must be honest and say, Wuti, I do give them all the props for building me up, because it's helped me in creating this business, A Chocolate Tribe, and also AVIJOZI as an event and this movement that we are creating around the creative space. But what I want to say is, Uguti, when I moved back, I had this restlessness, not only seeing the opportunities ekaya, but also this inner thing of feeling like I wasn't living my full and best purpose. And so while I was in practice, I remember one of the partners, who was obviously my senior, saying to me, Uguti, you don't belong here. You should be doing something creative. I took that as...
So you always spoke about creativity?
Not really. That's the funny thing. I think there was something that she obviously saw. But for me, I took it as a backhanded compliment. I was like, I'm doing umsebenzi, like I'm working as a lawyer.
What were you specializing in, commercial or
commercial?
crime?
So commercial, I mean, like a lot of the sort of high-end law firms do commercial law. So I did mergers and acquisitions, and I did media law as well. And then I also did labor law. That's where I anchored. And we had some really impressive clients, and I remember being on one of the biggest cases in South Africa, the Jacob Zuma case and the gallery. I was one of the junior team members in that. And so for me, everything was going according to plan. You know what I mean?
That was a hell of a case.
It was a big thing. Like, I mean, roads shut down, the entire, it was one of those moments.
There were marches.
Yes.
Twitter was a buzz.
It was
the
crazy.
Whole country was just talking about that.
And that's the thing, Uguti, I felt like I was also in the middle of, this change that was happening. and consciousness to what is creativity, because that was also what was in question.
And that time you're living with a white person.
I am living, so I'm exposed even more.
Sorry.
Okay, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Not only living, but married now. No, but so the thing is, it's, and I think in the family, you mentioned a really interesting point, living with, a person from a different culture and all of these things are happening, is that it again opens up the conversation of how do we culturally, create environment that allows us to express ourselves fully, in our Africanness, but also respect our traditions, because that case was also about that. It was about respecting, our culture,
yes.
Our leaders, but at the same time,
they talk about art on one hand.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, long and short, I went through the whole legal space. I was unsettled. I felt there was something missing. And for me, one of the pivotal or moments of pinpoint was I really wanted something that I could own. And I wanted something that I could, change so that as a community, I could bring on my fellow, people, because I just felt there's so many spaces, especially like South Africa, as much as we're free and we're open and we walk around, we do whatever, there's still spaces that are ring fenced, and even Maungena, now you don't feel completely welcomed and you don't feel completely like you belong there. And so for me, creativity is one of those spaces where you can go anywhere in your imagination. And if you're able to bring that world into spaces, it just elevates not only the conversation, but well-being yabantu. So it was really important for me to kind of pursue that. And that's how I sort of transitioned from law.
When that lady spoke about you being a creative person,
yes,
and Habi is creative,
yes,
how do you then go back and say, Habi, I'm thinking of joining you in this creative world? How do you break the news? Has he been always saying, come this side,
right,
or?
I think because we had a very strong love for music. So we actually, as part of our gifting, for birthdays, we'd buy each other CDs back then. As exposure.
It's
so okay.
It's okay.
CD. We are here now, right? Yeah. So we'd buy each other a CD, we'd go to concerts. So we always had a highly creative life. That's also when I knew Uguti, this feels very comfortable. And I love this feeling of being able to expose my creativity. But as a lawyer, there's a level of rigidity and a level of method. And, you kind of, and I think also when that partner was saying, Uguti, you belong in a different space, was because as much as I think I was very good at what I did, but I was also very expressive and creative in my argument. By the way, I always tell people, Guti, lawyers are creative themselves. They are failed actors. You know what I mean? But as a lawyer, to be...
Oh, yes, when you stand there, when you're interrogating somebody.
There you go.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Certain things you push hard, but it's not like that's what you want to do.
And
but
you also create arguments in yeah. I know lawyers will just fabricate.
That. And I would think, they're wasting my time.
There you go. But
can't they just go straight to the point? Because the point is this, but they find ways, creative ways.
That's the thing. And you have to create the pomp and the ceremony around it for people to be, the truth of the matter, sometimes I feel like people don't even care about the truth. It's more how it's wrapped around.
Yes.
It's the perception, and that's where lawyers come in as well.
The beauty of how you break it down.
There you go.
So you had to act when you get home?
Absolutely. Well, I think at home and as well in the office.
So what did you say?
Well, I said to him, Oguti, I actually wanted to start my own business, and I wanted it to be in the creative space. And so he was a bit, unsettled to say, like, two creatives, because you are the anchor.
It's not safe.
It's not safe. Yeah. You're the anchor. Kumbula, we now have mortgages, 3 kids, 2 cars. And we have a sense of social status, having a lawyer in the family,
yes.
you know, and now you want to upend
and
that.
It's also good for his ego as well.
I need it.
Yes.
Like,
now having a creative, in fact, my hobby is not even in this field.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
But now you want to do the same thing.
That's it, you know. And so I think there was, if I'm being honest, there was a moment of feeling unsettled, even for my extended family, because kumbula las puma corner, you know, when you're the one that got out, because that's how it's seen. You got out, you made it. Now you want to go into the creative space that's so, you know, that fluctuates and so uncertain. Stay in this career that's very, you know, solid, and there's a level of respectability. Why do you want to move to this?
Is he doubtful because he knows the animation industry is not yet an industry to be in, or because of any other reason?
I think he was also doubtful because at the end of the day, he knows Uguti, as you're saying, it is an industry that goes up and down. And animation, contrary to popular belief, it's very technical. You know, it's not just creativity. Yeah, animation really has to do even with physics. In order for you to be able to create a character, you have to understand the anatomy of that character. Even kids, when they watch animation, they can tell Uguti this is rubbish.
Yeah.
And that's based on the fact that Uguti, it's not done properly from...
They can tell.
Exactly. And there's something that's off. So I think he was feeling uncomfortable with that. And I mean, I think there's also a sense of pride and status to, you know, having
losing
a lawyer
to an animator.
You know, but yes, you make it sound like
no, but that's how he was feeling.
But
I'm
it's true.
Man, I know how we think.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. But it wasn't just and I think it was also ecosystem to Uguti you know.
And Mama is thinking, I did warn her.
Yeah, like, you know, what is this guy doing now? She's now going off on a tangent.
But you went ahead. Chocolate type is in my mind. I'm going to do it. Nobody's going to stop me.
I was very focused. And I mean, Arthur, for me, it was about ownership. It was about leadership. It was also changing a course and living your best purpose. For me, that was really the pivotal moment of, you know, and I don't see myself as having lost law. There's a reason why Chocolate Tribe is successful. It's because behind it, there is a legal mind, you know. So for me now, even when the likes of Netflix or about Disney bring their contracts, ang tugi.
Because you know
what
they
know
mean.
Exactly.
How you can interpret them.
Absolutely.
So you go into Chocolate Tribe.
I go into Chocolate Tribe, yeah. We build it up.
What do you do first day? Like, guys, here are my new planes.
Oh. The nerves, I'll tell you. I was so nervous because I'm now a leader of a team that I don't know how they do what they do. You know what I mean? So I have to learn everything. And in the beginning, it was really rough because some of the people that I'm heading have been people who've been in the industry for 10, 15 years. Now I'm telling them, Uguti, I own this, and this is how we're going to run things. Firstly, it was around, you know, how can a lawyer lead an animation in a creative studio? What do you know about it? You're going to mess things up.
Yes.
We're used to working in a certain way, and now it's going to be all these processes and this compliance, and creatives don't work like that.
We don't want it.
No. You know, creatives...
We just want to do what we love.
That's the thing. But that was the beauty of it, Arthur, because Rob, who's my partner and my husband, he is the creative guy who wants to think, and then I'm the one to be like, okay, whoa, let's think this through. Let's plan it out. Let's map it out. Let's figure, you know, let's go through all the possibilities, and then, you know, go out and be that firework. So I think I feel that's the reason why Chocolate Tribe has had a now 11-year run, and is one of the top VFX and animation and content development studios, not only in Africa, but I want to say globally. We work with global partners like, as I mentioned, about Netflix, about Disney, BBC. That's because we made a decision that this wasn't just a creative business. It is a business. And I think that's also where a lot of creative businesses lose the plot, because they see it as more like, hi, I'm hustling, you know, I'm doing what I love to do passionately. And what I always tell creative business owners, always remember it's a business. It needs to have all the cogs and wheels of a business. When you're speaking to business people, you need to also use that language because that's what they understand. For them to invest in your creativity, for them to invest in your dream and your passion, you need to have it with all the pillars and anchors of a proper functioning business. So for me, you know, we are yin and yang. Now I see strategy, I see risk, I see this, and I'm able to map it out. Let's make it beautiful.
You're the MBA side of the business. He's the
without
creative.
the MBA,
yes.
Yeah.
I'm
still working on the MBA.
I'm just saying the MBA side.
I got you.
You know, we think like that.
I got you.
We don't have to get that paper. Yes, we want to have it on our walls, but even if you don't have it,
it's
you
fine.
Still think that way.
Yes. And it was important to have that, because the only way you walk into a room and people take you seriously is if you are anchored around what the return on investment for them is, and you're using that language. And sometimes my creatives don't like that language because for them it's almost like,
it's draining.
Yeah.
It's
you know what I mean?
Destructive.
Yeah.
So you start Chocolate Tribe. You're in a country where animation is not recognized as business, apart from the few that are more advanced in, you know, creative thinking.
Got you.
Where do you look for business?
Yeah.
Do you go to advertising agencies? Do you go to production companies? Do you go to major media houses?
Sure.
Who do you approach?
So from the get-go, I'm not going to be as open as possible. We approached international partners because we felt that if we logged in locally, as you're saying, a lot of people didn't understand the animation, they didn't understand the VFX. They didn't even
the charges also don't make sense if you're in South Africa.
That's the
Why
thing.
Why do you charge Popeye?
Nansok. I mean, like, that's true. But so we went to global partners. I remember my first trip actually in 2015 was to the US because we felt that was the market that understood what we were offering. But one thing I have to also say, after things have changed, there is such a big phenomena in our communities for animation. And I think there's also a mindset change in terms of not just seeing it as amapopai.
Yeah.
People see it as a method.
It's big business.
It's big business.
Method of communication.
Absolutely. And a way to also tell our stories, which we would not have been able to tell. The thing is about the animation, it's the ability to tell fantastical stories, which in live action, you know, you can't. You know, animation allows you to travel to Mars without going there.
Yes, quickly.
Like, you know.
How would you portray that with real characters, Vele?
Well, you would do it in
You'll
other
end up
ways.
Forgetting to do the moonwalk.
and then Tinas is okay because it will look unrealistic, you know. So it's I think for me, animation really goes beyond ubupopai or for kids. It's a way that we can express our most fantastical and crazy. And why it's important, actually, I think, for even Abantu Abamnyama particularly, is because, Tina, we grew up in communities where we're focused on our lived reality. We're fighting for, bread and butter issues. So our imaginations cannot stretch beyond that. Even people were like, hi, not, you know.
Don't tell us about those things.
You know.
You get to America, right?
Well, yes, for my first visit.
Yes,
yeah.
And then, obviously, Level M is huge.
Yes.
Lion King is happening.
Yes.
Do you use those kind of gimmicks to knock at doors because you're from South Africa? Because why should I listen to a South African talking about animation? And I'm in the US.
It's true. We would use those examples. And I think at that time, there was also a goodwill around South Africa because of
the
World Cup, but
as
also
well.
Lemu M.
Yes.
And other, creatives who've come before to make sure we are seen as a highly creative environment. But when we got there, I also have to be honest, the environment was very closed because I think, Americans are also just looking at their own, stories and community and all of that.
Or usizoguthi you look like them.
Do I?
Yes.
Really? Okay. That's okay. I didn't
when
know.
You walk in there.
Maybe. I didn't know that I look like them, but I think the accent gives it away.
Yeah.
She's not one of us.
But she might be from the UK.
Potentially.
Where you live,
yes,
in any case.
Potentially.
And remember, when you talk to them, you don't talk to them like you talk to me.
It's true.
At the moment, you're compromising because it's me.
How?
Maybe when you're watching them with that heel and the quiet.
What's happening? Okay. Yeah, no, I'll come back to you on that.
Yeah.
I don't forget. Yes, I'm coming back with that. No, but our very first job or outlook was to go to, people who understood what we were trying to do. But there is a growth that's happening in Africa and South Africa in terms of animation. And we are seeing our clients are also production houses, so local production houses. So we work a lot even with the likes of Bent Onion from a VFX side, Oka Media. I'm trying to remember all of them, but we there is a level of collaboration on that angle, as well as advertising agencies, because Chocolate Tribe is not just in the film and TV space. Yes. We also do commercials. So you would have seen some of our commercials like Smooth, some of the chicken licking ones with the aliens. I'm trying to remember all of them. There was the one as well where Jonana travels, and we created all those creatures as he's traveling through his expedition to Europe, and discovers Uguti, it was us who invented the word Europe. Someone had a rope around their neck, and it's like, you rope. Yeah,
which is cool.
Which is
cool. So meaning, as you're doing this animated stuff,
sure,
there still has to be creatives that come up with all these things.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the animators themselves.
Absolutely. It's a whole process.
So Chocolate Tribe is a full creative agency,
correct,
not just an animator.
Correct. So let me just map it out briefly. So a client will come, maybe Arthur, with bags of money like US dollars, hint, hint.
Yeah, no, but I receive.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Please, ma receive after
Nzoza.
Thank you. So you come with your US dollars and you're saying, hey, I want to create a 10-minute show on Arthur. Arthur is this funky guy who, started the king of Kwaito. And, then we're like, okay, cool. Just give us, sometimes what client does is gives us like a few pointers. This is what I wanted to look like.
Brief, because they also have the vision of what they want to
Absolutely. Get. Then Tina, we take that on, we get into concept phase, we actually draw it out, and to those who are out there who are drawers, it's not a useless thing. That's really part of the processing of brief your client. And then it moves from there. You get designers, because when you're concepting something, you're just kind of like putting it in roughly. You get designers, you get storyboarders who now are mapping Historiska Arthur as is coming up as King of Kwaito and this and that and the other. And then you get, texturers, you get riggers. So there's a whole pipeline. That's what I'm trying to say. Then it gets to the animators. The animators are the ones who now make it move, so that when you're watching it, this thing is just seamless. But ikale, from a concept to storyboarding to designers, texturers, riggers, in the team we've got people who specialize on how joints move. Because as I was saying, if you are watching animation, you'll tell
something's wrong there.
You know what I mean?
So it's not seamless. It doesn't look natural.
Exactly. So you actually have people who are doing that job to make sure Guti joints move naturally, like I'm moving, and it's not like a robotic type of thing, unless that's the thing that you're going for. And then it goes through to animators, then it goes through to compositors. Compositors are the ones now who put everything together and make it all flow. And we're still in another pipeline where there's music that needs to be embedded. There's also other different aspects of production that needs to be embedded. Nama voiceover. We don't necessarily do voiceovers, but it's then handed over to the people who do voiceovers and package it, and then it goes out to the audience.
When I listen to your story, so you first got business outside the country.
Correct.
You had to prove a point using the product outside.
Yes.
And then obviously you get easily recognized.
Absolutely.
If you've done an international.
You're clocking the vision. Yeah. But see, what is that saying in the Bible? A prophet is not respected in his own home. Yeah. And so for us, we understood that the only way that Ekaya we would be respected as not only business people but technologists and artists and creatives is if we go out there and we create this amazing work, which is indisputable and undeniable. Masiza like Kaya, I get people who come through to Chocolate Tribe for interviews, and they're walking around and they're like, we didn't know what this company is here in South Africa. We always thought it was an overseas company. So there is that wonder.
So because the moment I said, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's break the news. Let's be the first to expose the good things that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But without sounding racist.
Okay.
Don't you think sometimes...
There's always a problem when someone says that.
Yeah. Because I also have white people in my team.
Okay. Nice.
Hence, good. I'm saying I put a disclaimer.
Okay.
Don't you sometimes think the synergy between the races also help in the vision of the company? Because somehow, because of our backgrounds, we don't think the same.
Can I say thank you
because people don't realize that.
Yeah.
You look at me, yes, jumping up and down on stage, doing a Kwaito song, but you don't know behind the scenes who works with me. Hence, I'm saying, does that also contribute to such successes and all those ideas? Because I don't sit here and think it was Nosipho's idea to go to the US.
Yes. So I mean, thank you for exposing that thought process, because I often walk around and wonder, do people think I got here only because of Urob? And I have to kind of think around it in a good way, sometimes in a way where I feel uncomfortable. The first thing I can say is, for me, I got here through my own hard work and efforts. I think I value Rob's contribution to the company, whereby he is the executive creative director of the company. And for us, there's a going thing in the company, which nothing leaves the studio unless it's gone through Rob, because he's got that creative mind. So yes, there is a synergy, and I feel like Uguti Chocolate Tribe is that company that's been able to bring the yin and the yang, the black and the white together in a seamless way. So I love to talk about, and I'm grateful, Uguti, you opened up about, my husband being white and I'm black. I come from a very sort of African Soweto,
yeah, because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, we are just blacks. Let's say if you were married to me, and I'm saying to you, let's go to... Yeah, that's in the Mapopai, but Sotale America.
Yeah, I think between us it would be like...
How?
Okay, this is a really, really great and honest conversation. I think probably, let's be honest, probably. I do think Uguti has had an impact in my course changing and in looking at the world differently. And that's the point of life, isn't it? You rub, it's like those atoms rub each other and they become different. So I do think, Uguti, there is a difference in the fact that, Uguti, I am married to a white person and they see things differently. And it enriches the conversation in that regard. So, yeah, and I don't think the company would be where it is if
the different perspectives coming together.
Absolutely.
Yes, because I always think it's the perspectives coming together. I mean, most of our clients are black.
Okay.
But ever since I got into the advertising industry, and shockingly, I've been around in this industry since 97.
Okay.
I worked for an agency. Behind the scenes, I've been hiding it, but I was working for white people.
Really?
And
Okay.
the way we went for the clients was the strangest thing.
Okay.
You know, I was the brains behind the townships, the brains behind the rural areas. They were the brains behind certain things.
Okay.
You know, meetings, how we approach meetings and all those things. And I always give credit to them. And hence I'm asking all these questions. I'm sure you are actually surprised. Why is he asking these questions?
I'm very surprised,
yes, because many people don't even know that, you know, we do certain things, but we keep them private.
On the low down.
But you end up saying, but why does he know so much?
Yeah.
But we forget to give credit where it's due sometimes.
Thank you for that, Arthur, because I think those are conversations that can only empower us as South Africans and each other to be that open and honest. Well, but you know, there's so many undertones, especially here in South Africa, and code swapping and switching, where when you're with certain people, you have to be a different person. So I think when you open up about these conversations, Uguti, there's still spaces as a black person where I might not resonate. Yes. So Zotoluguti, when that happens, I'll be honest, I will let Rob lead the conversation.
There has to be synergies one way or the other. You are an expert in your market, you are an expert in dealing with admin and all those things.
More than admin, thank you.
Yeah, but at least you know the processes, compliance and all those things. And obviously, it comes together.
Yeah.
You have a big project.
I do have a big project.
AVIJOZI.
Yes, excited.
The one that gets them happy. The one that gets them excited.
Now you must be happy.
Yes.
And
now that I'm
need to
going to attend, so
thank you.
I'm excited.
Yes.
You know, because we spoke about it.
Yes.
And today we are chilling here, exposing our private conversations to the public.
Oh my God, yeah.
You know,
I'll never be the same.
We want to share the same things that we experience with the public. That's the reason you're taking it public.
Thank you.
AVIJOZI, why the name and what does it stand for?
So AVIJOZI stands for Animation, Visual Effects, Interactive in Jozi. Jozi was really important for me, Arthur, because I grew up in Jozi, partly. And I always have this feeling, Yawuti, Johannesburg is almost that place that's been forgotten. Its greatness has been forgotten. This is where, you know, where the diamonds were found. This is the city of 15 million people who have high energy. I mean, I love Cape Town, but in Cape Town, I feel like Uguti, Mauya Corner, it's to relax and chill. This is where the fire is.
You're still a Soweto kid, basically.
There you go. Yeah, but that hustle, that grit and all of that, that's also why I went to New York, because like I felt like New York will meet my energy. But so AVIJOZI is really anchored around almost the resurgence of Johannesburg as a creative city. And animation is the brilliant way to do it. VFX is the brilliant way to do it. And interactive technology, which encompasses e-gaming and XR, so, you know, VR, XR, and AR. So the event is happening on the 13th and 14th of September at Summer Place, here in Johannesburg again, because I really want...
Summer Place? That place is expensive?
It is expensive. Hey, oh yeah,
Summer Place. No, the thing is, Summer Place is...
Anyway.
Summer Place is Summer Place.
Excuse me, anyway.
Okay.
Please, you know, I need those ceilings and those doors pushed. We negotiate relationships, but again, I love this interview, actually. Can I just be honest?
Yeah.
Because, yes, it's Summer Place is expensive.
Yeah.
But for me, again, as creatives, Arthur, I wanted to create an environment where creatives value themselves and they feel important.
Yes.
You know, Nkatele, by this thing of creatives are always shoved in these pokey little spaces, and craft, you know, and you're given these little... and I said, no, we're not going to accept that. We are going to create a high production event that is going to be similar to the ones that when I go overseas to speak.
Oh, yes.
You know, there's a level of luxury and there's a level of care and kind of validity for what you do. So for me, Summer Place spoke to that. We started the AVIJOZI at UJ, and they have a fantastic, theater there. But I wanted to move it away from there because I wanted people to come out of almost like being in a school and relax. You know, when you relax, you are
give it a corporate feel rather than just an educational institutional thing.
You know, I wanted people to actually enjoy being creatives, and also when we have international guests, most of them come from wherever they come from, and they still think we are walking around with lions. Let me be honest with you. When I go overseas, you know, people will look at you and like, but how come you speak English? How come? And you can tell what they're seeing on TV is completely different.
Yes.
So Isama Place speaks to, you know, an aspirational place and an inspirational place, similar to what I envisioned for Johannesburg, you know. And so AVIJOZI for me is not just an event. It is a movement.
It's an experience.
It's an experience. It's a movement. It's a narrative change where we start to see ourselves bigger than what we've been told. Uguti, no, you sit in that corner, in that dark little corner as a creative, you know, and play with marbles, because that's what you do as a creative. So for me, Summer Place was about, you know, hey, we are running formidable businesses. We are out here hustling and making sure Uguti, this creative space and this creative revolution that's happening even with the AI is not missing us. We are doing it. We are here, you know. So yeah.
Why AVIJOZI, and what do you gain out of it?
Yeah, I wanted to be a bit snarky and say gray hairs and lines, you know. Look, it's AVIJOZI is really about, someone put it beautifully to me to say it's a love letter to Johannesburg. As I was saying, Uguti, I grew up in Joburg, and for me, it's this aspirational place which I feel if it's given everything that it needs, it can be the creative hub of Africa, you know. And for me, I want the next generation of young people. I often tell Abantu, and I'm sure you have the same thing, Arthur, I have an obsession with succession. And I see Uguti Timiako is a very young team. So you and I clock the vision, Uguti, as much as you and I in places of leadership, we need to mentor and nurture
the next. How do you sustain the future?
There you go.
You know, how do you sustain the very same thing that you're doing and take it to the future?
The next gen. And that's important. So AVIJOZI is about that. It's about creating awareness of opportunities within the animation, VFX, film, AI, interactive spaces, so that young people are able to take up these positions and sit where you and I are sitting in the next, I don't know, 10 years and feel comfortable and feel like they've got the resources, the knowledge, and they've been mentored up into this space. So AVIJOZI is really about, you know, grooming the next generation in a positive way, right? The next generation into the creative leadership space. Creativity is the fastest growing economy, and it's the one place that's still under-resourced and underrepresented and seen as, you know, with a level of enigma. You know what I mean? So for me, AVIJOZI is to open this box up and say, hey, you know, we are here and we are formidable as creatives. We are actually almost the philosophers of time. We open things up for everybody.
So who's AVIJOZI talking to? What's the message you are saying to a corporate? What's the message you are saying to a young Eve that attends it every year? What do they gain out of it?
Shout out to Eve for attending it every. Shout out Eve. We see you. Shout out.
What are you saying to them?
Again, not
more especially about this year and the theme, and why should corporates be involved?
Thank you. So our theme, I'm going to start with our theme this year, which is Heart of Steel, and basically speaks to, you know, courage in a changing time, because there's huge disruption happening right now because of the AI. And we want to say to the corporate industry, you know, animation, the creative space is actually a space that allows you not only to sell your project, but to show your purpose as a company. So support us, you know, come out to this event and see how we are growing this industry from a creative perspective. What we're looking for from Mama Corporates, so I'm going to get right in there.
Yes.
We're looking for, funding, resources. We're looking for involvement. We're not just a different community. We're part and parcel of your ecosystem, and we are the ones that actually help you sell what you sell. Whether you are a Microsoft, whether you are an MTN, how people end up buying those products is through our creativity. It's us pulling those things together, showcasing them on TV or on people's iPads, and then they come out and buy. So,
but are you telling them that?
Well, I'm telling them now.
Yes, because I'm expecting AVIJOZI to be sponsored by big corporates, because everything revolves around what you guys are doing.
Hook me up, Arthur. I mean, I'm hook me up with
because the hooking up is sitting here talking about it and exposing it. We're going to take everything here and go expose.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, the hooking up must come with you making appointments and doing presentations.
I'm here for it.
Yes,
I'm here
because
for it.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you're actually selling Brand South Africa as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're not just doing this for yourself.
No, no.
The fact that it's already got Jozi,
yes,
which is supposed to be seen as the economic hub of Africa.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Already.
Thank you.
That on its own.
Brand South Africa hit me up. I spoke to you last week, Anyana.
Yes.
Hook me up.
Yes,
and
because I'm looking at this. I'm sure there's a lot of corporates in this country that are always willing to assist, but we don't approach them. And sometimes we undermine conversations like this. We don't understand that this kind of conversations always lead up to
absolutely
those something signed.
Yeah. So Arthur, with the corporates, for me, it's them to understand Uguti. For us to be able to also resolve the 45% unemployment rate in South Africa, creativity is very important, because young people are already on creativity. You know what I mean? They're sitting on their smartphones, they're creating content on TikTok and all of that. So if they are unable to clock that vision, then we have a concern. So that's what I would say to corporates. Uguti, let's connect, let's collaborate. Especially now in this age of disruption with AI. And then to young people, professionals, creatives out there, come to AVIJOZI. AVIJOZI is going to be lit this year. We've got a really spectacular lineup of speakers. So Ifometi AVIJOZI is, we've got show and tells. Show and tells are really important, because that's how you get to see how was this thing made. We demystify all of these things that we see on TV, because when you see it on TV, it's mapped out, it's a beautiful picture. But when you come to AVIJOZI, you get to see the techniques, the tips and tricks of how things are created. There are also conversations with people like Zikona Sontlaka, who's a very well-known South African actress.
I was actually surprised to see her as part of the lineup.
Yes. Why are you
What
surprised?
is she doing there?
How? What do you mean? What is she doing?
No, I'm trying to understand, because I'm always excited seeing popular faces being part of initiatives like this.
Yes. Zikona was really and is really amazing, because she's been doing master classes throughout South Africa for the past, I think, 3-4 months.
Wow. And
we hit her up and we're like, you are doing what we are also doing. Can we come together and, pull this thing at AVIJOZI? So what she's doing at AVIJOZI is a 6-hour workshop on the business of film. So she's going to break that down and also speak about her experience being in the industry. What her workshop is really going to be intended for is people already in the film industry. But Tina, as the AVIJOZI, you can be a person who's in the film industry, you can be an enthusiast, you can be, Noma Obani. Please come out, because there's something for you. We've got the guy who was the animation director for a very highly successful Emmy-winning Oscar, actually, because we've got Emmy winners and we've got Oscar winners.
Hey!
Yes.
Talking about that, you also won awards.
Yes, always. Always.
She won awards, guys, with animations.
Thank you.
I didn't miss that part.
Thank you. Well, I was hoping you were going to ask it, but it's okay. You've asked it now.
Yeah.
No, but we've won a number of awards, which we are in the Guinness Book of Records for being part of a show that had over 400 awards itself, called Cognition, as part of the VFX contribution.
Guinness Book of Records.
Correct. Guinness Book of Records.
You know how difficult it is to achieve that?
Well, I don't know. Now you're telling me.
I've been thinking about ways ever since I was a kid, because, I always had those books and I always buy for my kids, the Guinness Book 2021,
yes.
84, 19, what.
Yes.
Thinking about just breaking a record. And here you are, breaking a record with doing a movie on Popeye.
You don't make it sound
no, but because I'm trying to show people that creativity is about thinking out of the box. I mean, the other day I was even thinking, I need to sleep for 12 hours and then fall asleep within a second and break a record. Yeah, that's how desperate I am.
Okay. So, have you thought of doing stand-up comedy, Arthur? Because you're hella funny. No? Maybe that's where you'd break your record, right?
No, some comedian was interviewed here and he said that, and I still don't find myself funny.
Seriously?
No.
Yeah. No, I think you should look at it. There's another career budding there.
That's it.
Yes. I think there's another career. No, but other awards are important. They also anchor us and make us feel like at least people see what we are doing. But I think the bigger award for me is to make sure young people understand what AVIJOZI is about and come out to this event. It's free access. That's really the important thing as well. It's free access. You get to speak to people who are creating Emmy and Oscar winning creative pieces. And it also demystifies that whole thing, yoguti lomuntu is far away, or this dream is far away. This person is within your reach, and you can ask them, how they got there. So Zikona is going to be doing that. Leo Sili Pellissier, who's the animation director for Flow, which is one of the biggest animated shows or features this year. Then we have also producer Patrick, who does these snippets around the film and television industry, coming all the way from America to speak to producers, content, and I'm going to be doing a fireside chat with him. We've got Nosipho Foster, who's also an Emmy winner for animation character design in the first African Disney anthology, which we also worked on.
These are South Africans winning all these awards,
yes.
And we don't know about them.
This is the thing. That's why I'm going through step by step to even talk about them. Oguti, right here, we've got all these, creative diamonds who are undiscovered because we are not looking at creativity as a point of value. You know what I mean?
And you know what's the sad thing about that? In our GDP,
right,
creativity contributes 3%. We are even higher than agriculture.
Absolutely.
The contribution we're making, you need to remind the people when you go out there, when you look for those monies, to say, guys, we are contributing to the welfare of this country.
I thought we do. Like Bati right now, the 50 million jobs are going to come out of the creative space between now and 2018. I think it's 2.2 trillion is going to be, the sort of like growth in terms of creativity in Africa. Africa itself has 1.5 billion people. What that says, and we mustn't lose each other in the numbers, what that says is, Uguti, we've got creators in this content and we've got consumers. You know how Japan and even China and India have been able to create their own content and consume it. It's because they've got that big critical mass. They don't need necessarily to go to America
but they understand the power of the consumers that they have.
But this is what I'm trying to say, Uguti, if we understood our power as a community, as South Africa, where I think now we are 63 million of us, and then and understand the whole of Africa, which is, we are now 1.5 billion, and we are the youngest population. You know what I mean? And what does youth mean? Youth means innovation. Youth means agility.
Future.
And come on. So if we understood all of those things, that therein lies our treasure, we would be moving with a sense of purpose and, energy. That's why AVIJOZI is really important, because all of these conversations are being had. We've got a gentleman coming from China, Timothy Tan, to speak about the creative industries in an age of AI, a perspective from China. And that will help us also understand, Uguti, how did they get themselves to where they are? And so I really encourage people, this is free access. We're even looking at a partner who will help us with the transport. So umuntu makehlele ekhaya or at a corner of a street, I don't understand, because we're literally throwing this information and these opportunities to say, come out, learn something, collaborate, connect with people, and then come out of it. Potentially even with the phone yako, you are able to create content that can go viral, that can pay you and other people around you. So we're trying to, nurture and create jobs. We're trying to make sure, Uguti, even our image across the globe is represented, and we're not always left out of the creative notes of history.
I was about to ask, where is Department of Education with their CETAs to try and, get involved? But before we even ask about other departments that might be involved, the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture recognized animation as one of the sectors.
Yes.
Which is the first. And it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, correct, yes.
Are they involved in this? Because one would want them to be involved as well, because if there's a sector that's already there, and being involved doesn't mean giving me money. It's coming to tell people about the importance.
It's showing up. So I'm hoping from this conversation, Arthur, they will show up. We've invited them. We've invited DSAC, we've invited eComs, digital and comms. We've invited education, women across the board, because we see the value in science and technology, because animation is at the cross-section of tech as well as creativity. We are hoping, Uguti, they will come out. Last year they were invited. They said they would come. We didn't see them. So that's why I think this platform is also important, Uguti. The ears that need to hear this conversation, hear them, and they actually come out and see the work that we've done. We are 4 years in the running. First 3 years we were, in partnership with Netflix. This year we are anchored, and this is important again. Uguti Chocolate Tribe is putting its money where its mouth is, to say we're going to do this event with or without partners, because we believe in the future of these young people. We believe in the future of this creative space in South Africa and in Africa. So I really would love all these departments to come out and support us, but also be there, be present.
And in most of the events that I attended, I've seen Netflix lately. There's some lady that's always there from Netflix that's always part of these things. And I felt this is a good initiative, because I always see us after each and every event running to her, asking for cards. And, I hope they're still involved.
Which lady is this?
I think she's a CEO.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
She's always...
I
don't know.
No, they're busy. They're busy. And I must say, I don't work for Netflix, but they've been great partners to us in terms of even giving us work. We've worked on about 7 to 8 Netflix shows.
Wow, nice.
I wanted to speak briefly about Number, Josie Gold. We were the company responsible for that hyena that you see there. It's a CG hyena. It's not a live hyena. And it opened up, I think it was 2 years ago, to 5 million, audience, particularly in other parts of, how did they verbalize it in the non-African or in the diaspora? Let me put it in the diaspora, the African diaspora, which tells us as well, Uguti, the diaspora is also looking at us for content. You know what I mean? So, I think there's a lot to come out of AVIJOZI, but also of South Africa. And if we collaborate, so we would love to have even, about DSEC, Department of Education, and other departments to assist us and make this dream a formidable dream, because it really requires all of us in the community to
How
come
important is it to have this kind of initiatives?
It is so critical. I mean, Arthur, you are a creative and you are a business person as well. If we don't nurture this industry, and if you and I don't come out and speak around creativity, it may fall, by the wayside, because to the point of having the conversation, people don't necessarily always see creativity as a business. They don't see it as a career opportunity. So AVIJOZI is really to also tell them, Muguti, this is a career, a viable career. So you can sustain yourself, you can build wealth using creativity. You don't have to wait for somebody else to employ you per se. If you want that, that's also an option. We're not saying Gutaxi option, but we're saying that creativity allows you to amplify and to build something from your own mind and hire other people and build a business. So it's really important for these initiatives to be backed, to be resourced, and to be pushed forward.
What kind of challenges do you normally face in the animation world?
I would say, and you kind of laughed about it in the beginning, I think animation is a very expensive medium of expression. And so a lot of the times it's for you to get like even the 10-minute animation that we did for the Disney show, that was like, we're talking about millions. So that's one of the biggest things. From a funding perspective, it's a highly capital heavy career. And then it's also not an easy career. You have to really love animation and you have to practice. Ngoba, it goes beyond just talent. You have to really be, that person who continuously applies yourself fully. And then I think in South Africa and Africa, the challenge is what we also talked about, which is that it's not always seen in the light of it being a career that's going to move us forward. I think people look at other options that they think are more, viable. Let me put it that way. So the challenges are funding. The biggest challenge is really funding. And the schooling system doesn't also encourage creativity. As you know, once our budgets shrink in any place, marketing goes, the art department shuts down, which means you're really shutting down that
and
ability.
that time we forget that 3% of the GDP comes from the very same things that you shut down.
Absolutely, absolutely. So those are the challenges. There's a funding challenge and a perception challenge of this industry, and we need to change that.
Yeah. Thanks for a great interview, Nosipho. But before we wrap up, there's something that we call the Lifestyle Podcast.
Okay, what is that?
Fun and fast round.
Okay, you didn't tell me about this.
Quick questions.
Okay.
And you need to respond as quick as possible.
Oof.
Ne?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay.
It's fun, don't worry.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Your all-time favorite animated movie or series?
Lion King.
Yes, I knew it. The first job you ever had?
Woo, waitressing.
Oh.
Yes.
One African city you'd love to work from for a month?
Zanzibar. African city.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
but I'm
like,
trying why do you want to be in an island?
Zanzibar is gorgeous. Have you been? You must.
But I took people there.
And then you didn't go.
Yes.
Kanjani.
And I was working, was it last year? 2 years ago? I've been, okay. I don't want to be interviewed. One day I'll tell you stories about my African trips.
Okay.
A skill you wish you had instantly?
Oh God, a skill that I wish I had, being able to speak different languages. Yeah.
Book or film that changed your perspective?
Book.
Yeah, the name.
Of the book?
Book or film that changed, no. A book or film that changed your perspective. It must be a book or a film.
Well, it's a book, but should I say what the book is?
Yes.
Now I have to think what the book is, but okay. 2 books, Becoming by Michelle Obama and Seat of My Soul by Gary Zukav.
I took the first one.
Okay.
One way to describe your leadership style?
Collaborative.
I love that. Dream celebrity to voice a character in a Chocolate Tribe project?
Oh, dream celebrity. Oh my God, this is a good one.
I'm sure there's somebody that you want to see do something there.
Can I tell you a story about running into Lawrence Fishburne at Pick and Pay on William Nicol, Winnie Mandela? And I was like, this is not, and it was Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah. I was completely besides myself. It's the first time I've ever felt like, you know, a superstar. There he was, and he was filming E-Roots some years ago. Anyway, it's not necessarily him. Lupita.
Okay. Yes. If you went in animation, what career would you choose? Not law. Okay,
not law. It would be, you know what I really want to, and I still am working on it, is being an author, like a thriller. I want to write a thriller, like an exciting,
Are you a fan of Steven Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg, yeah.
He's not thriller though, he's too much horror, right?
Yeah, well, it's more. Well, Steven Spielberg is more like drama and like historical and sometimes fantasy, because he does the. I'm trying to think actually of the movies that he's done recently. And I can't think right now. Yes, next one.
The one thing people would be surprised to learn about you.
I think I was exposed
apart from being humble. Okay, let's remove that one.
Oh my God, thank you. Okay, there'll be Bengzoti, I love eating amaskopas and I'm addicted to them. Excuse. Even yesterday I had them. Sorry to say. So I need a sponsor.
Amaskopas. Did you just say amaskopas?
I did. I love them. I'm addicted to amaskopas.
Guys, man, I'm stopping here.
Why?
No, let me just close the show.
I thought we were getting to know each other, so I'm revealing my...
I'm done.
It's fine. All right.
Rob, please take your woman away.
Okay, wow. So I'm going
Any last words to the family or something?
No, well, I mean, thank you for everything and for being a wonderful guest. For me, this is by far the most interesting and open, podcast I've ever done. So, Nyabonga. And I come bearing gifts, hey? Come bearing gifts, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I didn't think so.
Yes, I was.
Guys, gifts for me for the first time.
There for you. Wow. Yes. Wow. These were actually made by some of our team members.
Chocolate Tribe.
This is
part of the tribe.
You are part of the tribe.
Yes.
And I'm gonna maskopas la pagadi.
Okay, these are my beautiful gifts. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nosipho Maketo-Van Bragt.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.